Football rise again as they finished 21-3. David Schenk led the poll scoring with 22 points. Kevin Sandell had 10 and Terry Bender had 12. Axtell led 18-6 at the quarter, 38-31 at halftime, and 59-45 after 3 periods. So a big win for Axtell as they win big over Polk, 82-65. And after the game, we talked to the Axtell coach, Paul Meanhall. Coach, when the season started, did you think it'd end up right here with a perfect record?
Well, I think every team that's got talent like we do kind of plans on getting this far. It may and may not happen, but in the back of our minds, we thought we'd be here, yes.
This has to be probably one of the biggest clubs you've ever worked with.
Oh, yes. We're pretty well blessed with height, but that's not the only story. It gets into personalities. We've learned to share together and work together, and not only our height, but we do have some good guards, too. It takes the guards to kind of set all this up, too, you know.
Coach, you said this was your second year. Last year you were 16-4, and you lost 3 times to the same team.
Yeah, Hildreth, they had, well, historians may say they had the best team of all time. I think I'd like to rank ours with them, too. But it was disappointing last year, but sometimes adversity makes you stronger. And I think every practice year we worked harder, and this is the reason why we're here.
The kids, when the season started, did they really think about, hey, let's go all the way? Was there that underlying current? Could you feel anything with the kids?
Well, we talked about in a preseason meeting and coming up short like that, and that we're going to have to go on a day-to-day basis, trying to improve in practice and work real hard and take one game at a time, and that's exactly what we did. And,
well, it's a one-game season tomorrow.
Yes, it is, and we're really looking forward to it.
Filley, where do you think that you're going to have to really work the hardest to perhaps beat them?
Well, we watched them and played twice, and they got so many good players in there. It's going to be a very interesting matchup, I think. Oh, that 21 and 33 for them, Weiss and Burr or Bohr.
Yeah, pretty good.
Probably the best, really, and we're going to have to really watch them pretty close.
If it got right down to the nitty-gritty, who would you go to, say, in a tight ball game? Who would you try to get to, or can you go to any one of the kids?
Well, the other team's defense really dictates who we go to. If they let us have it to rush, we take it into rush, our big kid. If they guard rush like Polk did in the second half, we go to our forwards. If they sag in, our guards kill them. It's been like that all year. Team's been trying to do one thing or another to stop us, and we've been very fortunate to read the defense and get the open shot.
Kim's going to come here on a football ride, isn't he?
Yeah, he wants to prove himself, and with the way he's finishing basketball season, if he keeps that attitude up, I think Kim, may develop into a player here.
Well, I'll tell you what, it's the Purple Wildcats against the Purple Wildcats tomorrow. Congratulations, Coach, on your season. Let's hope it's a Super D championship.
Okay, thank you, Mark.
Thank you.
From the Bob Devaney Sports Center in Lincoln, live and in color, it's the finals of the 1979 Nebraska State Boys High School Basketball Tournament. This evening's Class D and Class A championship games are presented in part by Propseco and your Golden Harvest dealer, and by your local Big Eye independent insurance agent. Now, here to describe all the action in today's games are Nebraska head basketball coach Joe Cipriano and 10-11 Strong sports director Mark Allen.
Mark Allen along with Joe Cipriano. And Joe, I'll bet on the Purple Wildcats in this one and the team that's undefeated here in Class D.
Hard to believe that two teams could be undefeated. They're both Wildcats and they're both purple, and they've had undefeated records, and I'm sure it'll be an interesting game.
Well, I tell you what, we have one of the smallest towns involved here, Filley, Joe, only 138. They're going after their third state championship in 22. They beat Paxton in Class K 13-3. Then in Class R in 26, they beat Barnston 24-3.
Well, they've had a great season. There's no question about it. I think last year they just had one loss, and now they've won 26, is it straight? So they've only had one loss in 2 years, and that really is a tremendous record for Eldon Johnson.
Right, the Filley Wildcats last year 25-1. They lost in the semifinals to Polk 67-53. Coach Paul Beanoff is in his second year at Axtell, Joe, and they're 23-0, and they're looking for that first state championship. Last year, they lost only 4 ball games and then lost 3 to the Sam Sharp's Good Hildreth Ball Club.
They won the state championship.
Right.
So this is going to be good basketball, I'm sure, from both teams. And I think we've talked about Axtell being a pretty good-sized club for a Class D.
Right.
I think they've got 3 people over 6'4" in the front line. So far, the big, strong teams have made the difference, and they've won. So we'll see. It'll be interesting to see what happens in this particular game.
How about Class A coming up, the next game, Southeast and Omaha Northwest?
Well, you know, I'd have to think that maybe Omaha Northwest might have a little edge, but you can't tell that the Southeast has been able to control the tempo with their delay type game. They spread it out and they do a lot of different things, and I think it's going to be a game you can't really say which team is going to be favored.
All right, we'll be back with the starting lineups in this Class D ball game after this timeout.
There's over 4,000 yields.
We're about set for Class D, and here with the introduction, the announcer, Roy Churchill.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Class D Boys State Basketball Championship game between the visiting Axtell Wildcats and the host Filley Wildcats. Introducing the visiting non-starting team members from Axtell. Number 22, Rex Swanson. Number 24, Tim Anderson. Number 30, Jay Bolkin. Number 34, Randy Lundeen. Number 40, Mike Benfeld. Number 50, Kevin Larkowski. And number 52, John Gustafson. The non-starters for Filley, number 10, Myron Schoen. Number 12, Donovan DeBoer. Number 14, Dale Zimmerman. Number 22, Russell Wallman. Number 24, Brian Hill. Number 40, Mark Boer. And number 52, Greg Lenners. And now for the starting lineups. At forward for Axtell, a 6'5" senior, number 42, Richard Beck. From Filley, a 6'4" junior, number 50, Stanley Lenners. At the other forward for Axtell, a 6'4" sophomore, number 44, Scott Houston. From Filley, a 6'3" sophomore, number 32, Alan Wasey. At center for Axtell, a 6'6" senior, number 54, Kim Rush. For Filley, a 6'3" senior, number 30, David Mainz. Starting at guard for Axtell, a 6' junior, number 32, Kay Farrenbrook. For Filley, a 6' senior, number 20, Bruce Boer. At the other guard for Axtell, a 5'10" junior, number 20, Tom Anderson. For Filley, a 6'3" sophomore, number 42, Jeff Van Eperen. The coach at Axtell, Paul Beinhoff. At Filley, Eldon Johnson.
Joe, you've had a chance to look at the starters, kind of big boys.
Oh, boy. I tell you, it seems like the teams are bigger this year, without a doubt. I've never seen so many big front lines in the Class C and the Class D, and this usually hasn't been the case.
Taking a look at the officials working this ball game. Larry Barnschlegel, a good friend of yours, Joe, I know. And
well, he was a baseball player here at the University of Nebraska and also a basketball player on our team my first year here. Now he's a principal at a high school here in the state.
There's Bob McAuliffe, the other official. He's number 12. It's the purple Wildcats, both undefeated. I hope we don't confuse you. The Wildcats of Filley are in the light uniforms. Filley, a town of only 138 on Highway 136, about 12 miles east of Beatrice. Axtell is on Highway 6 and 34 between Minden and Holdridge, and the population there only about 500. What am I really going to celebrate tonight? Axtell in the dark uniform, Filley in the light. They're both the Wildcats, they're both purple, and it's Filley with the ball. Short jump shot is good, and the basket was by Leonard. Short jump shot is up and in for Axtell. That's Tom Anderson. Well, it didn't take long, did it? Tied up at 2. Again, Filley is in the light uniforms. With the ball is Boer.
Axtell's in a 2-3 zone.
Boer has the ball on the point, gives right side to Weiss. Jump shot is no good, tip to the corner, and Axtell comes up with the ball. Fahrenbrook, Jay Fahrenbrook, a 5'11 junior, has it for Axtell. We're tied at 2. We've played about 45 seconds. This is Class D. Couldn't necessarily tell it by the size of the athletes.
Both teams are in a 2-3 zone.
Cross-court pass, whistle, and we have our first foul of the ball game. The foul is charged on Stan Lenners.
I think one thing we can watch for a little bit, Mark, and that is that both teams are in the zone. It'll be interesting to see how many passes they have to make to get the zone shifted for a good shot. And usually against the zone, it takes more passes in order to get a good shot inside.
They loop it into the big guy, Rush. His shot was deflected, and the rebound is taken by Filley. Filley 26-0, and Axtell is 23-0. Weiss, number 32, to Boer. I tell you what, these are two fine Class D ball clubs. Lenners, the ball is kicked. It'll still belong to Filley. Lenners is 50. Mainz is 30. Boer is 20. Van Eperen 42, and Weiss 32 for Filley in the light uniform. They give it in the big guy, the fake.
The
shot is up. It's no good, and a foul is charged.
I noticed they've gone inside twice with it. They're trying to get the ball in low and either get the shot from there or else kick to the open man as the defense sags.
Kim Rush, number 54 for Axtell, is 6'6" senior. He's coming here to play football, Joe. They tell me he's an outstanding defensive tackle.
Well, he looks like he's a very well-coordinated young man, and certainly he's got the size to play in the line.
Stan Lenners misses the first free throw. He's a 6'4" junior. In their first ball game, Filley was 26 of 31 at the line, and as they beat Layton 88-44.
Well, they've kept everybody in the 40s since they've been here in the tournament, so they've probably got a pretty good defense because of the size.
The shot is good by Boer. Bruce Boer gets the bucket, the 6-foot senior. Ball is knocked out of bounds by Alan Weiss. It'll still belong to Axtell. They'll play it from center court near sideline. Filley leads at 4-2, 6:28 left to go in the first period. Fahrenbrook is number 32 for Axtell. At the high post is Beck. He comes out to play the ball, plays it to the far corner to Anderson. To Houston, whistle, 3-second violation charged against Kim Rush of Axtell. 4-2, Filley leads by 2, and they'll play it up court. 6:13 remaining in the first quarter. This is Class D. Lions 1 and C, and Norris in Class B. Boer has the ball for Filley. They lost only one ball game last year. That was in the semifinals to Polk. Lenners from the baseline missed it. Tipped up once, no good by Mainz. Loose ball, it'll belong to Filley.
Filley's been pretty aggressive so far. They've got a number of second shot opportunities, and their press has bothered Axtell a little bit.
Ball is played into Boer. Van Eperen is number 42. Boer sets it up between the circles. Right side to Weiss, to Boer. Loops left side to Van Eperen. The shot is good. Long pass and saved at the baseline for Filley. Taken there by Boer. Hurries to the baseline and then decides to slow it up. Out front to Weiss. A good fake, 14-footer, good. And Filley has raced to an 8-2 lead. Filley leads at 8-2 with 5:15 left to go in the first quarter. This is Class D. As you might imagine, the Filley crowd is behind us, directly behind us. That's why the noise. Anderson to Fahrenbrook. Defect. Long shot by Fahrenbrook, good. His first two, it's 8-4 ball game. We've played 3 minutes. Class D, 8 to follow, Southeast against Northwest. Long shot by Van Eplen, turns it up. Jeff Van Eplen, just a sophomore. He has 4 points. 10-4 on the move. Tom Anderson hits it. Anderson hits it for Axtell. He's a junior, 5'8". He has 4 points.
This reminds me of the Class C game. Remember how it started? They haven't missed many shots here either.
Well, I guess not. They loop it into Lenners, baseline. His jump shot is good. Stan Lenners. Here's the long pass up court to Rush. Gives it to Anderson, looking for help. Anderson finally dribbles, has it stolen away.
Good steal.
Good
Nice
steal
hands.
by Alan Weiss. Weiss has it for Filley. They lead 12-6. Long shot by Boer. Good. Bruce Boer has
Look at the
4.
long pass.
Another long pass. Hits the official and then saved by Filley. It hit the official and then hit the Axtell kid, and Filley comes up with the ball. Boer to Van Eplen to Boer. Weiss, baseline shot is deflected. That was Mainz who didn't get the shot through the hole. Now they slow it up just a little bit. Boer has the ball. Fakes a couple of times. Van Eplen on the move. Looking for help. Loops it into Lenners. Good! Stan Lenners. And right away, Coach Paul Meanoff is off the bench. Axtell wants timeout. With 3:24 to go in the first quarter, it's Filley 16 and Axtell 6. 16-6, Filley leads it by 10, Joe. And Boer for Filley has hit 15 of 20 shots in the first 2 ball games. He was 10 for 10 in that game against Layton.
Well, he's definitely hot. You know, one thing that's surprising, both teams are loose. They're not worried at all about being a little tense in that championship game. They're both shooting well.
Fahrenbrook missed it, rebound to Filley. Filley 26-0. Eldon Johnson in his 5th year as head coach, his 7th year at the school. 3 minutes remaining first period. Filley with the ball, bounce baseline. Shot is up and in by Mainz. David Mainz gets the bucket. Well, I said to somebody this would be a 78-77 ball game. It might very well be. Fahrenbrook to Feck, has the ball slapped away, and the foul is charged on Tom Anderson. Well, I had a chance, Joe, to see both of these ball clubs play earlier in the week, and I was impressed with both of them. Not that I wasn't with some of the other tournament teams, but you got to remember, this is Class D, and these kids love to shoot it.
Well, there's no question about that, and as we said, they're playing with a lot of poise, and certainly they're not concerned about it being a pressure game. They're just playing and getting after it.
They haven't got the ball to rush much. I'm surprised. This is Houston, who gives to Fahrenbrook on the fake. The jump shot up, too strong. Rebound to Filley. Lenners with the rebound, leaves it for Boer. And here come the Filley Wildcats against the Axtell Wildcats. Filley leads it. Ball knocked out of bounds. Last touch by Filley. It was a good call. It was deflected by Axtell, but off a Filley ball player. 18-6. Filley in the light uniforms leads it by 12. They're 26-0. They've won all but one of 52 games in the last 2 years. Houston's long one-hander is no good. Rebound again to Filley. Each team getting only 1 shot at its end of the court.
Philly's a fine rebounding team. You know, we thought earlier that maybe Axtell would be the best rebounding club, but I don't think so. There's
Goes into the
right
big
there.
guy,
That guy's
Mainz.
pretty good.
Mainz
Does a
missed
good
the
job.
shot. Rebound to Rush. Rush
Good
clears it away to
pass.
Fahrenbrook. Long down court pass to Anderson. Turnaround jumper, good. Tom Anderson with the basket.
That was a
He
nice
has
play
6.
by Rush. Rush looks like he's pretty much a rebounder and a big power player inside.
Slow up the action just a little bit. Boer. Filley plays it. Leonard's baseline with a fake. Jump shot off the glass, no good. Rush had the ball, but it was knocked out of bounds. Last touch by Filley. It'll be played the length of the court by Axtell. Axtell 23-0. Filley averaged 76 points offensively. Axtell only 60, both defensively in the 40s. You can well imagine. This is Anderson. Sets it up to Fahrenbrook. 18-8, Filley leads. Axtell has the ball. Houston hooks it baseline to Anderson. Still looking for Rush, and they haven't got the ball to Big Kim. He's had 49 points in 2 tournament games. Bad pass out of bounds, last touch by Filley. Well, they may jump it up. Let's see. No, they're going to give it to, well, let's see. They're still talking about it. They give the ball to Filley. Filley leads at 18-8, less than a minute to go in the first period. Boer with a slow, deliberate dribble. As we said, he hit 10 for 10 in that victory over Layton. He was 5 for 10 yesterday.
He's pretty much the leader of this team, it looks like. He's the one that pretty much sets.
Philly's determined, Joe, to just go for one shot. They lead by 10 here in the first quarter.
They don't want to lose too much momentum, but this is probably a good idea. They take the last shot with 30 seconds, and they can go in the 10-point lead into the second quarter.
See if they'll give it to Boer. He has the ball right now. We're down to 17 seconds. That's Lenners. Lenners is a junior. This is a young ball club in a lot of ways. Van Eperen took a look at the clock.
Now they got 9 seconds. They got to go into their move.
Van Eperen fakes, bounce, big guy. Lenners, jump shot, no good. Rebound, Axtell. And we're going to run out of time here in the first quarter. It's all over. The first quarter is history with your score. Filley 18 and Axtell 8. Filley in the light uniforms leads at 18-8. They've been paced by Lenners with 6. Anderson has 6 of the 8 Axtell points. 18-8. Maybe a little bit of surprise of the difference, Joe, but I tell you what, we got a long way to go.
That's right. You can't predict here yet. 10 points, I don't think really means too much in the first quarter.
Filley is in the light uniforms. That's Lenners. Good interception by Anderson, has knocked away temporarily. Anderson stops. Loose ball taken by Beck. His jump shot no good. Gets the ball back momentarily. Knocked out of bounds. No, saved by Filley. That was a fine play. Fine play there by Mainz.
Larry Bornslager really put on a burst of speed there and did an excellent job making sure he didn't lose position. And I thought we have to give the old ref a plus.
A great shot there by Van Eperen. Jeff is just a sophomore, has 6 points. And a 12-point lead again for Filley. Filley over Axtell in Class D. Fahrenbrook gives it to Houston. Short jumper, no good. Up in the air again, no good. He gets the ball back again. The third try is no good. He gets it a 4th time and decides not to shoot, but he was fouled by Tom Anderson. Anderson commits the foul. Check it, we're on the wrong side. Boer. Bruce Boer gets the foul.
Where are they going now?
Oh, they're going to get the net down. The net is tangled at the far end. Heck of a play. The foul was on Bruce Boer.
Axtell is picked up on the boards right now. I think the momentum shifted a little bit to their side, and Filley cannot let them continue with the second and third and fourth shot.
20-8. Filley leads it right now. Axtell has the ball. Fahrenbrook with a fake, can't get the shot. Beck, pass intercepted again. A lot of turnovers early here for Axtell as Filley brings the ball up court. Well, we've had 2 teams, Joe, that are 26-0 with championships. Filley could be 27-0. Feed it deep to Mainz. A block by Houston, but they say that Houston got part of his arm. Houston commits his first foul. And going to the charity line will be David Mainz, a senior, 6'3", averaged 13 points and 12 rebounds during the regular season, scored 12 points in the win over Layton and 16 in the win over Clearwater. Last night, Filley blasted Clearwater 73-48, while Axtell beat Polk 82-65. They've had a little strong free throwing, Joe. They've all hit the back of the rim.
I've noticed that.
We have a timeout called by Axtell with 6:39 left to go in the first half. It's Filley 20 and Axtell 8. Back to Class D action. Filley leads Axtell 20-8. John Gustafson, a 6'5" sophomore, has just checked into the lineup for Axtell. Pretty good size for sophomore.
Well, they don't seem to lose much height when they make a substitution. That's
well, they've
tough to find a 6'5" substitute.
They've hit all those free throws on the back of the rim. All 4 of them hitting the same spot.
Cameraman can find that.
20-8. Axtell with the ball. They trail here by a dozen points. Loose ball again. And they're going to charge a foul to Houston after he tried to go back to get the ball. He committed his second foul. Well, still not in the 1-and-1. In Class C this afternoon, Lions blasted Utan 75-41. And in Class B, Norris completed an undefeated season with that 51-44 win over Aurora. Both of these teams undefeated. They're both purple and they're both Wildcat. But Filley has the ball in the lead at this point. Boer gives it into Lenners. Jump shot short. Rebound Mites. His shot no good. Taken by Mites again. He missed it again.
Good play.
And he's fouled again, I believe, and the foul is going to be on Houston. That would be Houston's fourth foul. And coming back into the ballgame in a hurry is Richard Feck. Mites goes to the free throw line, the 6'3 senior. He's missed a couple of shots there. And also Lenners missed a couple. And all four misses hit the back of the rim. Have to take a half step back.
Lenners and Mites are really going to those offensive boards. They're
That's 5 free throws in a row that have hit in exactly the same spot.
They got to cut it short about 3 inches.
Either that or step back 3. Let's see which way you adjust. Perfect. Skimmed it over the front.
Bullseye.
6 minutes to go in the half. Filley leads at 21-8. They led 18-8 at the end of the first period. Axtell having a little trouble getting their offense rolling. Fahrenbrook, guarded by Weiss, loops it into Rush. His shot no good. Rebound taken by Filley. Lenners. Stan Lenners gets the rebound.
He's the lineman.
Hasn't got the good hands. Filley has the ball in a 21-8 lead. This is Weiss. Running jump shot, good. Alan Weiss, 6'3 sophomore, has 4 points, and Filley has increased its lead to 23-8. Long jump shot by Feck, no good. Rebound taken by Gustafson. The sophomore is fouled. Joe, he's one of the biggest sophomores physically that I've seen in a long time.
He's going to be a pretty good size lad in about a couple of years.
The foul is on Boer, his second. And it's still not a shooting situation. The next one on both teams will bring up the 1-and-1. Long shot by Fahrenbrook is good. That's what you call hitting it from the outside.
That's his second one from outside.
5'11 junior. 5:10 to go in the first half. Filley with the ball in the 23-10 lead. This is Class D. Van Eperen will try.
Another one.
How about that? So if they can do it at this end, we can do it down here. 25-10. 8 points for that fella. Axtell has the ball in its forecourt. They trail 25-10. Anderson loops it in. Ball broken up. Taken by Filley. Playing at both ends of the court. Filley leads at 25-10. Axtell has scored but 2 points here in nearly 3.5 minutes of the second quarter. Weiss, Lenners, Van Eperen. A little more pressure now from Axtell. Boer slows it up.
There he is.
Van Eperen to Lenners. One dribble, or is that Mites? That's Mites. This is Lenners.
You know, the two of them look alike in a way.
Mites underneath.
Boy, tough on that.
Feeds it back out. He walked with the ball. He had nowhere to go. He got trapped underneath.
Well, right now, Philly's getting the ball inside, and either they get their shot or they kick it out to the open man, and I don't think Axtell can let them continue to have the ball inside like that. It's breaking their zone down.
25-10. Axtell trails. They got behind early. Here's Anderson. Boom! He hits it from the corner. Tom Anderson. He has 8 points. 8 of his team's 12. 25-12. Filley leads Class D. They come up in Class A, Lincoln Southeast and Omaha Northwest. Boer and Weiss. Bounce into Lenners. One dribble, a fake, short jumper, no good. Rebound taken by Axtell. Taken away by Feck, Richard Feck. Axtell down by 13. Anderson loops it in, and again it's broken up.
They're doing a good job on the defense inside.
Boer.
Nice play.
He missed it. Mites with a rebound. David Mites. Timeout called by Axtell. with 3:09 left to go in the first half. It's Filley 27 and Axtell 12. A look at the Axtell crowd. Give that last basket to Weiss instead of Mainz. Weiss gets the basket, 27-12. Filley leads it by 15. Axtell has never really got their offense unwound. Gustafson in the circle. Fahrenbrook.
Tell you, they got a lot of big people outside here. Look at that. That's a nice move.
That's a sophomore. Gustafson gets the basket. His
There's
first
the
2 points. The press is on.
Boy, they're pretty good size.
Filley breaks it in a hurry. Filley leads 27-14. Both teams in purple. Both teams are the Wildcats. This is Weiss. He missed that one. Battle for the rebound. Loose on the floor. Lost out of bounds by Mainz. Axtell has never really got a couple of baskets back-to-back, Joe. They got to come down a couple of times and do that. 2.5 minutes to go in the half. Filley leads at 27-14. Both teams undefeated coming to this championship game in Class D. Shot is good.
That was an excellent play there. A nice touch on Rush's part.
Rush gets his first 2 points. That's back-to-back baskets there by Axtell. 27-16 as Filley plays against the full court press. Put Big Gustafson right on the baseline.
They're in the zone press.
Fahrenbrook can't get it. And the Wildcats of Filley have it in their forecourt. Van Eperen to Boer. Van Eperen's long one-hander is no good, and the rebound is taken by Gustafson. For Axtell, they have a chance now, Joe. They're down by 11. They have to get one here. Gustafson almost walked.
He didn't.
You're in Axtell, that was a travel, or was not a travel. If you're in Filley, boy, you walked a mile.
Yeah.
Gustafson drops the ball. Boer has it. Boer on the move to the baseline, has it slapped out of bounds. Still belongs to Filley. We mentioned Filley won championships way back in 22 and 26. So it's been a long time coming. Leonard, Boer, back to Leonard. Tries to get the shot over the top of Rush, and the foul is called on Rush.
Second foul, I believe.
Rush picks up his second foul. Kim Rush, 6'6" senior. You mentioned coming here to Nebraska to play football. 1:35 left to go in the first half. We're going to have some special presentations at halftime that we invite you to stay around for. Some special citations, Distinguished Service Awards. Free throw is no good again. Filley, as we mentioned in their first ball game in the tournament, 26 of 31, but they're struggling a little bit at the line right here. But nevertheless, they lead by 11. They still lead by 11.
Look at that.
A lot of height under the board.
On those boards, I'll tell you.
Axtell again with a chance to get down within 9.
Team. Both teams have got real big kids inside.
Gustafson, Fahrenbrook.
They're not thin either.
No.
They've been eating that good Nebraska beef.
Beck's long one-hander, good. Richard Beck, his first 2 points.
We said this in the first quarter that we thought Axtell was making a comeback on them, and I think they really are now.
Ball is knocked out of bounds, but we have a foul underneath, and the foul is charged on Fahrenbrook, his first. And we're in the 1-and-1 situation. 1:04 left to go, first half. Filley leads at 27-18 after leading 18-8 at the end of the first period. David Mainz at the charity line. He's 0 for 4. Well, we're going to have a timeout. We can talk about again, if you might have joined us a little bit late, where these two towns are located. Filley, only 138, is located on Highway 136, about 12 miles east of Beatrice, going after that 3rd straight championship, but their first since 1926. Axtell is on Highway 6 and 34 between Minden and Holdridge. That town a little bit bigger, 500. This is their first trip to the state tournament since 1951. They lost a D title game to Millard that year, 42-37, and there's one of the young cheerleaders from Filley.
She's got it together.
Right, I tell you what, her team has had it together all year too, Joe. We had the good pleasure of speaking at the commencement down at Filley a couple of years ago, and we're going to speak at the Axtell banquet coming up at the end of April. Crowd this afternoon of about 9,800, and maybe not quite as many here tonight. I don't think the crowd is as big. Bill Miller and Joe Cipriano writing each other notes. David Meintz at the line, as we mentioned, has 3 points, and he's 0 for 4 at the line.
That's his daughter, gorgeous girl.
0 for 5 after he missed that, or 1 for...
I got a good eye.
He hits that one. 1:04 left to go. 28-18, Filley by 10 and Filley by 11. Filley led by 10 at the end of the first quarter, 18-8. Axtell undefeated. They beat Pleasanton 70-50 in the first round, and then Polk 82-65. They move the ball around. Anderson's long shot, an air ball taken by Filley, and they'll go for one shot with 42 seconds remaining in the half. They lead at 29-18. Bruce Bohr to Weiss. Alan Weiss is just a sophomore. Bohr is a senior.
Filley has really got their zone pushed back in. There's no way hardly that you can get it inside. They're going to make you beat them from outside. And as you can see, they haven't been able to hit that well from outside, Axtell, so far in this game.
Filley down to 15 seconds. They lead at 29-18. Bohr being chased by Anderson. In the corner he
Probably
goes.
go back inside with it.
Oh, that's got to be a walk.
5
Double
seconds.
dribble. 5 seconds left. Well, Axtell may get one pop at it here. They have to go nearly the length of the court. Long pass to Anderson.
Plenty of time.
Got to hurry now. Rush. Shot is up. It's no good. And that's the end of the first half with your score. It's Filley 29 and Axtell 18. Halftime of Class D with Filley leading Axtell 29-18 after leading 18-8 at the end of the first period. Now with some special presentations to the PA announcer, Roy Churchill.
The Nebraska School Activities Association distinguished service award by honoring the 3 distinguished dedicated educators here tonight. The idea is to express the association's gratitude to persons who make outstanding contributions to high school activity. The NSAA provides programs that flourish for years and years to come. Honor persons as notable as the Heinz Pomeranians will be honored. Here to present the awards are NSAA Board Chairman Thomas Filley and Executive Secretary James Riley of Lincoln. Now, let's meet the honorees one by one. Leslie B. Chamberlain. Mr. Chamberlain was a 37-year educator who first served the Nebraska School Activities Association in 1945. He was involved every year thereafter in a variety of positions, such as Representative Assembly of Delegates, District Managing Committeeman, Board of Control Member, and Executive Secretary until his retirement in 1977. While he was Executive Secretary, the association introduced all women's athletic programs, a state speech contest, and state one-act play contest, to name just a few accomplishments. Mr. Chamberlain also was a member of the National Federation of State High School Associations Executive Committee and was on that national group's committees on football rules, basketball rules, research and statistics, and national competition. He was vice chairman for a 3-year term. He played in this state tournament as a youth in Ashland. He coached for 9 years. He officiated football and basketball for 12 years. He spent his entire professional career working for the youth of Nebraska and is enjoying retirement in Lincoln with his family and friends. He piloted the NSAA in its fastest changing period. Leslie T. Chamberlain.
I would like to take this opportunity to thank the NSA, Mr. Mahane, and the Border Control for selecting me for this fine honor. It is greatly appreciated. I would also like to commend them for their fine work and organization in running this tournament tonight and wish them continued success in the years to come. Thank you.
Next, Walter R. Olson of Fremont. Mr. Olson had a 2-year fling as a professional performer in show business, ending it in 1927 by taking a job as instrumental music teacher for the Fremont Public Schools. Showbiz lost was high school music's gain. Walt Olson spent 30 years at Fremont High and part of another decade at Midland College dedicated to the music development of the young people of Nebraska. He actively served the Nebraska School Activities Association much of that time, assisting in formulating the principles and regulations for high school music competition. For 25 years, he conducted clinics for high school musicians everywhere from Salt Lake City to Chicago and in every state surrounding Nebraska. He's helped author 2 books on high school bands in Nebraska. Even in retirement, he still assists the NSAA District 2 with its annual district music contest. After all he's done for high school music, it is a pleasure here tonight to toot his horn. Professor Emeritus Walter H. Olson.
Thank you, gentlemen. I feel that I'm accepting this award, certainly with a great deal of pride and pleasure. Also, I must include in its acceptance here perhaps one of the largest student segments in the state of Nebraska that does come under the umbrella of the Activities Association, and that is the musicians. There were 25,000, I think, a couple of years ago, and I feel that I'm representing that group also in taking this most treasured and valued citation. I'm going to place it in my studio, and I will have it there where I can review back over the many years that I've been associated with the Activity Association, and I'm sure that when I do, I will not only be thinking of the gentleman here with me, but also, for instance, and for example, Mr. Howard Sorensen. I think many of you know him, Tommy Thompson, and most certainly Lee Webb, who headed up the Activity Association for many years. This is indeed a great pleasure, and I thank you very much.
The last honoree tonight, Charlie H. Foster of Kearney. Those of you from central Nebraska need no introduction to Mr. Foster, whose distinguished coaching career began in the high school ranks and has flourished ever so successfully at Kearney State College since 1945. While turning out championship caliber athletic teams, it is significant to this award for contribution to high schools that his influence steered an uncountable number of Kearney State graduates into the high school coaching ranks, where these Foster products passed along to thousands of high school students the impeccable Foster philosophy, principle, and technique. Mr. Foster was a member of the National Track and Field Rules Committee for 12 years. He directed the Nebraska School Activities Association boys track meet when it was held in Kearney in the 1960s. He has been the meet referee at the state track meets for both boys and girls. He has given the NSAA valuable assistance in the area of development of game officials, particularly for football and basketball. This dedicated, energetic man retired from the paid staff at Kearney State in 1971 as athletic director and head coach. Immediately thereafter, he returned as a volunteer coach to develop the women's track program there. He still is their coach. He is a great guy who has coached track for 52 consecutive years, Charlie H. Foster.
Thank you very much. In my last few years, it seems like I've received a lot of awards, but I'm telling you, this is one that I'm going to appreciate the rest of my life. You know, I've been, you might say, associated with high school athletics all my life, even though I've been a coach in college for about 35 years. I was just thinking this afternoon that in 1928, I brought a team down here to the state basketball tournament. We got beat the first game, but it's a far cry now than what it was back in those days. I think your athletic association is in good hands. I've met all of the activity directors from Mr. Black down through the years of Thompson, O.L. Webb, and Mr. Chamberlain, and now Mr. Riley. They do a terrific job for athletics in Nebraska, and I think all of you folks should appreciate the fact that we have good leadership in our Nebraska High School Activity Association. Again, I thank you very much for this award.
Okay, Bob. It's halftime here with Filley leading Axtell 29-18. We'll return to the Bob Devaney Sports Center after this timeout. You're looking at the big end at the Bob Devaney Sports Center. Halftime 29-18. Filley leads Axtell in Class C this afternoon. Lions down to U10 for the championship, 75-41. And in Class B, Norris defeated Aurora 51-44. In the first half tonight, Filley shot 46%. They were 13 of the 28 from the field. Axtell shot 45%, but they only had 20 shots. They were 9 of 20. Both teams had 11 rebounds. For Filley, Lenners has 6 points, Mines had 5, Boer had 4, Van Eperen was their leading scorer with 8, and Weiss had 6. For Axtell, Fecht had 2, Rush had 2, Anderson had 8, Fahrenbrook had 4, and Gustafson a basket for 2 points, as Filley led at the end of the first quarter 18-8 and lead it here at halftime by the score of 29-18. In the personal foul department for Axtell, Houston has 3, Rush has 2, and Fahrenbrook has the other. While for Filley, they committed only 4 fouls in the first half. Boer had 2, Lenners had 1, and Van Eperen had 1. We had a crowd of 9,800 here this afternoon at the Bob Devaney Sports Center for the action in C and B, and I don't think we have perhaps quite as many, maybe just approaching that number here for the remainder of this Class D championship game. And then coming up in Class A at 8:30, it'll be Omaha Northwest 14-8 against Lincoln Southeast. The Knights have won 16 and lost 7. Mark Almond and Joe Cipriano sincerely hoping that you enjoy the action and that you'll stay around for the remainder of this Class D championship game, and then the game coming up in Class A. And our congratulations to the gentleman who just received those Distinguished Service Awards, to Les Chamberlain, the former Executive Secretary of the Nebraska School Activities, for Walter Olson of Fremont, involved in music for so many, many years, and veteran track coach Charlie Foster of Kearney. We'll be back with third quarter action after this timeout.
You want to
halftime, Filley leads at 29-18. Joe, both teams shooting well. The only thing is Filley has had 8 more shots from the field than Axtell.
I'm surprised that both teams just have 11 rebounds. I don't know if they're counting offensive rebounds or not, because they've both been getting a lot of second shots. And, of course, each time and each quarter we thought that maybe Axtell might be coming back on them, but Filley just keeps stealing the ball on that defense and keeping it from getting it inside. And it's been a very good game.
Axtell perhaps a little bit disappointed with the scoring they have here at halftime, only 18 points. A team that has averaged throughout the year better than 60 points a ball game.
Well, that's probably true. I think Axtell is probably concerned a little bit about its offense, and they'll probably try and get the ball inside to Rushmore, but, you know, they're not letting the ball go inside, and I think Axtell's going to have to try and score from outside in order to catch up, or else change the tempo with a little press like we've said before.
All right, we're set to go into the third quarter. Filley and Axtell, both teams come into the ball game undefeated. Both have purple as their school colors, and both are the Wildcats. Filley last year lost only 1 ball game, and that was in the semifinals to Polk, 67-53, and I know that they've lived with that one. Eldon Johnson and the Wildcats of Filley have lived with that loss for a long time, for better than a year. Axtell, of course, 23-0. Last year they were 16-4, and 3 of those losses came to the team that eventually won the state championship, and that was Hildreth. We're going to have all new champions this year. Champions of a year ago have not repeated. Hildreth in D was a champion a year ago, and Fairbury was in B, and Howells in C, and in Class A it was East, and Lincoln East. A lot of people thought they'd be back. Filley in the white going to the East gets the tip to start the second half.
That kid can hop.
Gets up in the air a little bit. Van Eperen is 42. Boer is 20. Weiss is 32. 50 is Lenners. This is Van Eperen. Boer. The other guy in the lineup is David Mines. He's on the left side.
They're overloading the zone, putting the man inside. He's got to get it out quick when they drop on him. That's it.
Yeah, there's a lucky bounce right there. The basket is good by Stan Lenners. Went up in the air and he got his 8th point. Houston has a shot blocked.
There's 30 again.
Mines, David Mines.
He can play that defense.
He's a leaper. 31-18. Filley with the ball and that lead. Boer, who's quite a shooter, a little too strong. Off the floor, taken by Axtell. Fahrenbrook races into the forecourt. Axtell's never led in the ball game. Houston on the drive. Good shot by the big sophomore. 6'4". His first 2 points of the ball game. Looks like he's going to be a little more aggressive here in the second half. 31-20. Filley still by 11. They've had a comfortable margin since early in the ball game after leading by 10 at the end of the quarter. Van Eperen to Lenners. He's running out of room, so he gets it back to Van Eperen. They give it right back in again.
See how they get it out and then kick back to the open man and go back inside. Good job. He's on probably for traveling, but they did the right thing, and the defense shifted. Axtell did a good job.
Axtell will play at the length of the court from east to west here at the Bob Devaney Sports Center. Total attendance will probably be under 80,000 for the year, for the tournament, the 3 days. Fahrenbrook to Feck. Filley defense tough. This is Houston. Anderson. They just haven't been able to get the ball to Kim Rush.
See how they dropped the guy inside. They dropped 2 people on Rush. Now you got it.
Missed the shot, but he was fouled. Rush will go to the charity line undoubtedly to shoot 2. The foul is on Mines.
They put one right behind him and they put the other right in front of him, so they don't give him much room.
Kim Rush spells the first name K-Y-M. Kind of unusual spelling. We mentioned this young man will be coming to the University of Nebraska this fall, play football. That free throw is short. Filley was long at that end. That guy says, oh, brother. I don't know what side he's on, Joe. Hard to tell right there. He hits the second one. He has 3 points. Presses on. 31-20. Filley still by 11. Find it cleared away. We're going to have a foul, and the foul is called on Fahrenbrook. His second. 6:02 remaining, third period. 31-21, a 10-point difference out here. Second foul on Fahrenbrook. Filley looking for that 27th consecutive win. Boer, Van Eperen, just content to move the ball around. Boer goes baseline but doesn't shoot. 5.5 minutes to go, third period. Filley leads it by 10. Jump shot is good. Shot is good by Lenners. Stan Lenners has 10 points. 33-21. Filley by a dozen. They've had control of the ball game for the most part since early in that first quarter. Anderson for Axtell. Fahrenbrook. Feck. Houston. Everybody handles it but Rush.
And you can see why. Look at those 2 people on him. There's not much room for him.
Axtell turns the ball over. Filley leads 33-21. Class D championship. We're going to have 3 champions in the tournament this year with undefeated records. Shot is up, and it's no good. Tipped by Mike's, no good. He had the ball momentarily, but Fahrenbrook comes up with it for Axtell. Long pass, lucky break for Rush. He got the ball and put it in the hole. Almost intercepted, however. Rush has 5 points. Another 10-point lead for Filley. 4:19, and the third quarter remains to be played. Bruce Bohr just taking his time, getting it on the point. Weiss and Bohr playing catch on the right side. Lenners 15 feet away, hits it. Stan Lenners has 12 of his team's 35, and again Filley has a 12-point spread.
He's playing inside and outside. You notice that time he went outside and scored, and he's been in the post most of the time.
Houston missed the shots, and Mainz has another rebound.
Mainz really has good coordination. You notice his timing. He's been up high, and he gets the ball at the top of the jump. He's a good athlete.
And Eprin has the ball for Filley, leading by 12 with 3:30 remaining in the third period. Weiss and Bohr, he'll try an 18-footer. No good. Rebound is taken by Rush, clears it to Fahrenbrook. Baseline Anderson. Well, they get it down court now. Have to play against it.
Look at they got a couple. You got to give those guys a couple camp stoves because they're really surrounding poor Rush.
Beck's long jump shot is no good. Somebody threw something out in the court and it was caught by Fahrenbrook, who threw it back into the crowd. Dangerous business. I don't know what it was. It's a ball of some sort, a rubber ball.
Yeah, they got to get it. Somebody's got to get it.
Well, it bounced on the side, the southeast. Somebody from southeast got it. Long shot from the corner was no good by Van Eprin. Rebound to Lannert. Good fake, but he traveled. No, he was fouled.
No, he's fouled. Come on, Mark. You missed one.
No, you're always supposed to when there's some question. That's his third foul.
Timeout.
Timeout with 2:45 remaining in the third period. It's Filley 35 and Axtell 23. 35-23, Filley by 12 with 2:45 left to go in the third period, as Rush had just committed his third foul for Axtell, a non-shooting foul, and Filley will play the ball in from its baseline right. Bohr. Not many substitutions in this ball game for either ball club. Filley has led all the way. Lenners feeds it to Mainz. He's pinned down, and out it comes again. Mainz will try it again, loses the ball, picked off by Axtell. Ahead it goes to Anderson. Can he catch up with it? Knocked out of bounds. It'll belong to Axtell. They'll play it from the right baseline.
See, when he catches it inside, he's got to make his quick move to the basket or else kick it out to the open man. If you hesitate, the defense is going to drop on you, and that's what's happening. He's getting the ball knocked away by waiting too long.
Axtell plays it in its forecourt, down by a dozen, 35-23. 2:14 remaining in the third period, Class D. Fahrenbrook missed, rebound Houston, gives to Anderson. Anderson walks. Okay, that's about the longest shot we've seen in the tournament, that one that Fahrenbrook just took.
He almost brought rain.
And almost put it through the hoop. That'll really bang the floor. The arch he had on that one. The press put on by Axtell. Weiss just about threw a bad pass. Van Eprin, lead pass to Lenners. Stan Lenners, a 6'4" junior.
Tell you, he plays either outside or inside.
Filley with the 12-point lead. We're under the 2-minute mark now in the third period. Underneath Mainz.
Nice play.
Good block by Rush. Rush with a good block, and Axtell comes away with the ball. They lose it out of bounds, but it was last touched by Filley. Well, Filley led in this ballgame 18-8 at the quarter and 29-18 at the half, and now they lead by a dozen, 35-23 with 1:42 remaining in the third period. Houston to Rush.
Three people on him.
To Anderson, Fahrenbrook, to Feck. Shot was blocked. Taken by Mainz. Mainz is a great leaper.
Yeah, he's got good timing. And he didn't foul either.
No, no body contact.
Larry Bornschlager was there to watch it, right down to the wire.
Looks like they may go for just one shot here with 1:18 to go in the third period. And spread it out on the court, Joe.
Keep that 12-point lead. Well, here's the thing. Axtell's in a zone.
Make them come out.
Make them come out. As long as they don't throw it away, it's a good move.
Or commit a foul like that one right there by Tom Anderson.
It's not a one-on-one you take on the side. Here comes the big sophomore, Gustafson, in.
John, a sophomore, replaces Rush. No shooting situation yet. Filley has committed only one foul here in the second half. Substitution coming into the ball game for Filley. Greg Lenners. He spells it different, Joe. There's the Lenners with a double N, and this is Greg with one N, L-E-N-E-R-S.
It's a good move on the coach's part now. He's giving his kids a rest. He's going to give them a full minute, and then he knows he's going to get another minute for the timeout. Excellent move on his part, and certainly the big guy needs a little bit of a rest.
Lenners, who just come into the ballgame, is just a sophomore, Joe. He's 6'4". This Filley ball club isn't going to lose everybody after tonight. We're down to 42 seconds. Filley with the ball and a 12-point lead. Somebody's going to be free underneath here. They sagged back 3 guys, Axtell did in a hurry. The Wildcats of Filley leading the Wildcats of Axtell. We're down to 27 seconds. Lie for a couple of seconds. Boer weaving out there along with Anderson. Slapped away. There's the steal. No whistle.
No call. That's a good play. Oh, nice pass.
The shot is good by Feck. Richard Feck gets the basket. He has 4 points.
Gustafson. He made a nice play on it. Look at here.
Boer on the move. Jump shot up. No good. Rebound. Will it count?
No good.
No good. Oh, yeah. One said no and one said yes. One said no and one said yes. Well, apparently the yes wins 37-25 after 3 quarters. We'll be back after this timeout. Good. Filley, they did count the basket. Lenners, that's Greg Lenners, a sophomore on that tip, gets his first 2 points of the ball game. And Filley leads by 12 going to the final period. They led by 11 at halftime and by 10 at the end of the first quarter. 10, 11, 12, they should win by 13. Axtell in the dark.
See the kid in the purple, he can't leave the middle of the circle.
Well, let's see, tip once, twice, 3 times, and the tip finally controlled by Axtell. Axtell down by 12. They have to make it up in a hurry now. This is Houston. Way short, an air ball. The rebound is taken by Filley. Filley has led all the way tonight in this Class D championship. Eldon Johnson, his 5th year as head coach. Boer to Weiss. Weiss clears it away to Van Eperen. Underneath, it goes to Lenners. Fadeaway jumper, no good. Loose on the floor. Mines has it. Jump ball.
Axtell has gone to a trap. They're double teaming the ball in the corners, trying to change the tempo, and now it's going to be interesting to see what Filley does in order to try and counterbalance that.
They'll jump it up. It's Rush who's back in the ballgame. He jumps against Dave Light. Watch Mines. Let's see how high he gets. They didn't get that tip. Rush got the tip. Controlled by Axtell. Axtell down by 12 points with a little over 7 minutes to go in the season. They just can't get the ball to Rush. Fahrenbrook to Houston, to Anderson. Feck, everybody touches it but Rush. Fahrenbrook's one-hander in and out, no good. Rush fights for the tip.
Got it.
His jump shot, no good. Tipped up, good by Feck, Richard Feck. He has 6 points, 10-point ball game again with 6:45 to go. Filley with the lead in the ball. Boer, Van Eperen, Weiss, and he's fouled by Feck. No 1-and-1 yet. Feck commits his first foul. That's the 4th team foul against Axtell. Filley has committed only 1 foul here in the second half, and that was on Mines. So we've not had that many fouls in the ball game. Filley will play it from the right baseline. You just missed your shot, Joe. You got to watch the monitor.
What happened?
Well, what happened? You've been trying to get that shot all night.
Well, former Miss Nebraska?
Tom Hallstrom's niece, isn't that the information we have? Ball loose on the court. Jump shot is no good, but the ball still belongs to Filley as Dorr had that ball shoved down. He wants a timeout. With 6:21 to go in the ball game, it's Filley 37, Axtell 27. Joe Bruce, Bohr called that timeout. I believe he had nose bleed or something temporarily, and he called it smartly. He just called it right away, and they seem to have the difficulty cleared up.
I think you're right. Oh, yeah. That's number 4. That's a tough call there.
Rush commits his 4th foul. Rush has only 5 points tonight, 2 baskets and a free throw. And of course that puts Filley now in the 1-1 as Gustafson comes back in the ball game for Axtell, and he replaces Kim Rush, who has picked up that 4th foul. 6:20 to go in the ball game, Filley by 10. And at the line will be Stan Lenners, 6'4" junior, has not had too great a success at the free throw line. He's 0 for 4. He has 6 baskets, 0 for 12 points. Well, he found the right end of the court, Joe. He had difficulty at the other end.
Well, you'll watch him shoot the free throw. He has very good form, and boy, he gets a nice backspin on the ball.
Both of those were accurate, very accurate.
Excellent shooter.
And again, Filley has a 12-point spread, 14 points for Lenners. Axtell having a lot of trouble keeping close. Feck misses, rebound to the floor, taken by Filley. Picked off the floor by Lenners. And here come the Purple Wildcats of Filley against the Purple Wildcats of Axtell. Bohr loops it in to Lenners, looking for somebody, or will he go for the baseline? Can't quite get around. Back out front it goes.
Axtell's in a man-to-man defense.
We have 5:47 left to go in the season for these two clubs. Weiss weaving his way all the way around Houston and gives to Lenners, looking for Meitz. The ball is tipped out of bounds by Gustafson. It'll still belong. Which is it, purple
it's
or
white?
what?
I'm sorry, it's white.
The ball will be tossed in by Lenners. He's a junior. Meitz is a senior. Bohr is a senior. Van Eperen is a sophomore, and Weiss is a sophomore. So we might see Filley back here again in 1980.
Nice
Lenners missed the
nice
shot.
nice
Rebound
pass.
to Gustafson. Axtell down by 12.
They're going to have to make their comeback here pretty soon.
We're down to 5:20. Shot is good by Anderson, Tom Anderson.
Back to 10.
10 points.
Here's the press. Man-to-man, looks like. Nope.
Filley has no trouble getting the ball in, and Lenners has no trouble getting it into the forecourt. Bruce Bohr. Filley with the ball and a 10-point lead with 5 minutes to go. Bohr missed, rebound Meitz. He gets it. David Meitz has 7 points. He's been tough, Joe, a lot of rebounds. He's a senior, he's only 6'3". Axtell again down by 12. Houston missed, ball on the floor, back to Houston.
Well, you can see why both these teams are undefeated. They're both got good athletes. Filley's really got 2 fine players inside. There's no question about Meitz and Lenners. They're really good players. Oh, that's a good call.
No problem, no hurt.
That's right.
That's Meitz, but there's a foul on Feck. Body contact. His second.
You see the head fake and the crossover by Stan Lenners. He made a nice move.
Well, let's see what Meitz can do at the line. He started rather slowly, missed 3, and now he's hit 3. Season winding down for these two fine clubs. Filley, a town of about 130-some people. Meitz is a little short. Axtell, a town of about 500. Axtell here at the state for the first time in 28 years. Filley was here just a year ago. Short again, tipped around, and Filley comes up with the ball. Lenners to Weiss, and Weiss goes out front to set it up. Filley in the light uniforms, leading by 12, 41-29. Bohr, a nice move. Bruce Bohr. He has 6 points and a 14-point lead. And when they play the ball in, they stepped over the line.
I missed it. Did you see it?
I saw the call. Timeout with 4 minutes left in the season. It's Filley 43, Axtell 29. One more championship to be decided after this one. That'll be in Class A, Lincoln Southeast against Omaha Northwest. Filley leads in this one. They play the ball in. Filley trying to get their 27th consecutive win of the year without a loss. We're under the 4-minute mark. They lead by 14. Lenners, well, he says, what'll I do with it? He's had it quite a while. Gives it to Bruce Bohr, and Bohr brings it out front.
They all play under control. This is a good basketball team.
Bohr to Lenners. Head fake, one dribble. Van Eperen in the corner. Van Eperen got too close to the line. As a matter of fact, he stepped on it. 43-29. It was a 10-point game after 1 quarter, 11 at half, and 12 after 3 quarters.
Did you see him step on it?
Yes.
Did you?
Just barely touched it.
All right.
Fahrenbrook for Axtell bounces to. We have a substitution in the ball game for Axtell. Tim Anderson is in. The ball is tipped around. The foul. Foul is on Feck. Richard Feck commits the foul. Tim Anderson is in the ball game. He's a 5'8" junior. That's his 3rd foul of the ball game. And going to the line for Filley will be Alan Weiss, another sophomore, Joe, 6'3". Houston and Gustafson are sophomores for Axtell. Kim Rush comes back in.
He's got 4 fouls. Of course, they've got 3 minutes to try and make up about 14 points.
Alan Weiss at the line. First attempt of the night. Right through the hoop. Look at some of the Filley fans. Their team getting ever closer to a championship. Good wrist action. Filley, I think this is about, well, no, not, but it might be their biggest lead of the ball game. Loose ball, they weren't even looking for it.
See, they got to settle down. They can't come back all at once. Right now, I think you're going to see Filley go into a timeout. That's right, here it comes. And they're going to go to delay game now, Mark. They're going to make them come get it.
Well, we have 3 minutes and 3 seconds left to go. And, Joe, as you look at this Filley ball club, if you didn't know which class it was, you wouldn't exactly know what to say, I don't think.
Well, you know, I think we probably shouldn't categorize, but I think over the years you could really say, well, this does look a little bit like a Class D or a Class C school because you don't have many big kids. And I really can't say this is a true situation this year with Class C and Class D. They've got good-sized kids. They play well, and there's no question about the brand of basketball, I think, has really improved this year in terms of the classifications.
Unofficially, the scoring for Filley, Lenners has 14 points. Mainz has 7. Bohr has 6 points. Van Eperen has 8, and Weiss has 8. And Greg Lenners has 2. Where Axtell, Feck has 6. Houston has 2. Rush has scored only 5 points. Anderson has 10. Fahrenbrook has 4, and Gustafson has 2.
I think one of the things that we have to give Filley credit for, and that is that their defense has really dropped in on Rush, and they haven't been able to give him the ball inside, and as a result, they haven't been able to operate in their zone offense. So Filley's really done a good job in controlling the inside play and keeping Rush off the boards.
Rush had 20 points in the win over Pleasant and 29 against Polk, but he has only 5 tonight.
Oh, he was open.
We're down to 3 minutes exactly remaining now in this Class D championship game. Filley with the ball and a 16-point lead. Filley has not gone to their bench much here tonight. Loose ball picked off the floor by Bohr and then stolen away by Rush. He almost lost it. Houston does lose it. And then Houston commits the foul.
For a while, I didn't know which team was dribbling.
Two officials are going to walk slowly to the other end just to kind of get the pace.
So they get a little rest.
That's a 4th foul on Houston, the sophomore. In the NCAA today, Indiana State beat Arkansas 73-71. DePaul beat UCLA 95-91. Lenners at the line, gets another one. He now has 15 points.
If you want to watch the form of an excellent free throw shooter, here it is, right here. Gets his wrist back, takes his time, gets his habit, and he shoots it in the hole. That's excellent.
Right in the hole.
Very good.
And now it all of a sudden becomes an 18-point ball game. Filley with that big lead. They get it into Rush finally. His jump shot off the mark, and the rebound is taken by Filley. 2:22 to go. Filley leads at 47-29.
Philly's not really doing getting much of a delay game here.
Boer.
In fact,
Van Eperen shot is no good. Rebound taken by Axtell, and somebody pushed. The foul is on Boer. He actually stumbled more than
they
anything
can't
else.
afford to get caught here fouling. They've got to just stay back, play conservative.
That's only their second team foul of the second half.
The last thing they want is the clock stop. They want to keep the clock going. Paul Snyder just...
Paul Snyder give you a sign?
Yeah, it gave me a hack in the ribs.
They steal it again. Philly comes up with the ball again as Axtell turns it over.
Jim Ross has been working for 4 straight days here from noon till midnight.
Well, right now, Eldon Johnson, the coach of Philly, just jumped up in front of us and called timeout. And I think we're maybe going to see some of those reserves, Joe, with 1:53 to go. The Philly fans behind us yelling, "We're number one." And they might very well be. There's a look at the Axtell bench. Here's a team that came to the championship undefeated, 23-0. I don't know, Joe, if it, it's tough to lose a ball game in a championship, but you always got to remember how many teams would trade places with you just to get to that championship game.
Well, there's no question about it. Just getting an opportunity to come to the state tournament certainly means a lot to a lot of teams, and I know they feel bad when they aren't able to win the final game. But if you just think about the number of other teams that didn't even make it here, and certainly there's been a lot of fine basketball played here in the state tournament this week.
Axtell, as we mentioned, we're looking forward to coming out to their banquet on the 30th of April, visiting out in that area. And let's see if we have a lot of...
Trying to get a crowd?
Yeah, I'm trying to get those tickets up, Joe. Just like we haven't plugged your school yet.
That's right. We haven't said anything about the basketball
well, you
school
cut off
held
my
in June.
You cut off my commission
complex.
last year. Bruce Boer has the ball for Philly. They still have those regulars pretty much in the ball game. The issue, of course, is a long way from necessarily being over. But leading by 18 with less than a minute and a half to go, right at a minute and a half.
Keep it moving.
The Harlem Globetrotters will be on tomorrow afternoon.
That's right. Uh-oh.
That's over and back.
That's right. Nate Branch is going to be here tomorrow, I think, in the afternoon at Pershing Auditorium, and we'll all look forward to seeing Nate.
Yeah, right. He's kind of directing that show. They kind of
He's
running
the coach in the whole program right now, so probably ought to get a loan from him.
They play at 3 o'clock tomorrow afternoon at Pershing Auditorium. Richard Beck. It'll go in for him.
Very
Richard gets the bucket.
touch.
He has 8 points. It's 47-31 with 1:12 to go. And Philly again will probably start moving the ball around, just eating up that clock. Van Eperen to Weiss. Weiss is 2-time. And there's a foul on Tom Anderson, and I believe Tom might be gone. Well, that's only his second. Anderson commits his second foul with just exactly a minute remaining in the ball game.
60.
60 seconds.
Would that be 60 or 61? 60.
Bruce Boer at the line. Senior had 22 points in that win over Layton. He had 10 yesterday against Clearwater. Free throw's good. He had a super effort in that game against Layton, as we mentioned earlier, Joe, and he hit 10 straight shots from the field, and he was 5 of 10 yesterday. And of course, we don't have any figures on what he's doing here shot-wise tonight.
Well, he's definitely the quarterback of their team, and he does have a fine club because Leonard's and Men's. Oh, they threw it out.
And Coach Eldon Johnson calls another timeout, and I believe
he's
now
going to get a subs in. That's right.
And the Philly fans behind us have gone nuts, as you can well imagine. We're number one. Philly Wildcats. We look at the Axtell bench. An excellent year, nevertheless, for Paul Meanoff in his second year as head coach. As can be pronounced it Meanoff or Minoff, he says, it doesn't make much difference. The old country pronunciation, I think, is Minoff, and said Meanoff, Minoff, it doesn't make much difference. Axtell got to the state tournament. They knocked out defending champion Hildreth in the first-round district game. Then they beat Kennesaw and Wilcox. Then in the regional championship game beat Cambridge. Filley, on the other hand, had very little trouble as they downed Douglas, Adams, and Lincoln Christian in the district, and then a very convincing win over Lewiston, 85-35. The confetti has come out of the Filley crowd, and the unfortunate thing about it is some of it has come out on the floor. Substitutions as, well,
no.
We see he hasn't actually, I'm not sure that Filley has made any substitutions, Joe.
Neither one have.
Tom Anderson is back in. Rex Swanson, I believe, is in the ball game now for Axtell. Beck is still in there. Rush is still in there. Have a slight delay here as they clean up the confetti. Coming up next will be the Class A championship game between Lincoln Southeast and Omaha Northwest. Lions won in C, Norris in B, and Filley is just moments away from winning in Class D. Reaching in, the foul is called on Tim Anderson.
I think there's one thing that has to be noted, and that is the last 2 minutes of a game, the officials have to be very aware of the fact that they can't let anything go because these teams have worked so hard, the teams worked hard to get a lead, and you got to make sure you keep from letting anything go. You've got to really be careful.
Still got to call the foul.
Call the fouls.
Van Eperen at the line, the sophomore gets it. They started off rather shaky at the free throw line, but they've really come on here in the second half. Van Eperen has 9 points. He could go into double figures. He missed that one, and the rebound is taken by Kim Rush. Rush has it for Axtell, gives the ball to Tom Anderson. Filley leads it 50-31. Rush was thinking football already. Coming in the ball game again for Filley is Greg Lenners. He was in earlier, and going out is David Mines. Coming in now is Donovan DeBoer. Donovan DeBoer is in. Also coming in is Myron Schoen. And checking in is Dale Zimmerman. And last but not least, Russell Wallman. 5 new players in there for Filley, and the state championship is theirs. It's a matter of running out the last 47 seconds. Axtell makes substitutions as Jay Bolkin has checked into the lineup. We mentioned Rex Swanson is in there. Mike Benfeld also in the ball game for Axtell. So the subs get the last 47 seconds of action in this Class D game.
They might get a basket here.
Myron Schoen gets the basket. Schoen gets the basket. 52-31, a 21-point lead. We're down to 30-some seconds in the ball game. 32. This is Swanson. His jump shot is short. Rebound taken by Filley. Filley would like to add maybe just a couple of more points. Donovan DeBoer. Russell Wallman. This is DeBoer. Feeds underneath. The shot is up. And it's good. And let's see who we're going to give credit to on that one. How about Dale Zimmerman? Zimmerman gets his first 2 points. Shot is up. It's no good. It's all over. It's all over as Filley has won the Class D championship as they've downed Axtell by the score of 54-31. The first state championship for Filley since way back in 1926. This is their 3rd championship. They won in 22 and 26, and they win here tonight. They were in the tournament last year, but they lost to Polk, as we mentioned, in the semifinals. Their only loss of the year, 67-53. And of course, last night, Axtell took care of Polk, 82-65. So our congratulations to Coach Eldon Johnson and his Filley Wildcats, and also to Paul Meanhoff and that fine bunch of Wildcats from Axtell.
Well, it's too bad somebody had to lose, especially when they're both undefeated, but you really have to give credit to Filley. They really kept command of the game the whole time, and Axtell made a couple runs at them, but it was a great victory for Filley, and they do have a very fine team.
David Mines cutting down the net at one end, and Bruce Boer taking the other one down. Unofficially for Filley's, Lenners had 16, Schoen had 2, Mines had 7, Boer had 8, Van Eperen 9, Weiss had 8, Lenners had 2, that's Greg Lenners, and Zimmerman had 2. Anderson had 10 for Axtell, Fecht had 8, Houston had 2, and Joe Rush had only 7 in their last part of the story.
Well, he was lucky to get 7 the way they camped around him all night. And I know it was a tough game for him because there were so many people surrounding him, but they had some other big people there as well.
Roy Churchill making the announcement as the runner-up trophy is presented to Axtell.
To the Axtell team, their coach and their fans. Fine ball club. Gold medals will be presented to the Filley team, the Class D championship team, and a special award to their coach, Eldon Johnson, by Nebraska School Activities Association Board of Control member Lee Todd of Grant. As your name is called, step forward to receive your medal. Number 10, Myron Schoen. Number 12, Donovan DeBoer.